Ladies and gentlemen, the time hath come. I had the very cool opportunity through some detective work and some ingenuity, I might say, to see the Backrooms movie early. I didn't get like some exclusive screening or anything like that. I just figured out where they were playing it really early in a different country, believe it or not, from where I live. So earlier today, I got in the car, drove 3.5 hours from Poland to the Czech Republic in Ostrava, where they had a preview screening, they called it. The movie doesn't come out in Poland until like June 17th or something. So I was like, no, I need to see this movie. And I was like, you know what? It's worth the very expensive European gas. I'm going to see this film, whatever it takes. Packed theater. The best part about getting to see it early like this and not having it be, like the agreement where it's like, here to the big YouTubers or the big review sites, you get to see this movie, but you have to follow the embargo and all the reviews come out at the same time, which is tomorrow, my time. I got home really late. It's like midnight right now. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to record this and try to get my review up as soon as possible before embargo lifts and give you guys some insight into how good this movie was. Something else that was really sick was Kane had this little intro that played, and he talked about how, like, out of the public, at least, besides the premiere and some of the reviewers and stuff, we were some of the first people to see the movie, which was really cool. Cool way to start. So let's talk about the movie. How was it? Well, let's start with all the pros. First of all, the performances fucking were awesome. Chiwetel Ejiofor killed it. I've heard it said that this performance was better than like his Children of Men performance, which was also an insane one of his, like a career leading performance for him. He was so good in this. Yeah, especially like the climax of the movie, like his little monologue. It was so good. He's such a good actor. Renate Reinsve, if I'm saying it correctly, she was amazing too. I would argue that she was the star of the movie here. About halfway through the movie, it kind of switches to her perspective, which you can kind of gather all that, from the trailers and stuff. They don't try to hide that as she goes into the back rooms looking for him and everything. And yeah, dude, she killed it. We get to dig deep into her backstory and her motivations for why she does what she does and why she wants to help people and all these kinds of things. Very cool. It was great to hear and learn more about her as the story went on. Gave a lot of much needed context for these characters. And, when you're making a movie, it's very different from making a YouTube series, right? Story first, not just exploration and all that kind of stuff. So he did a really good job directing them, got great performances out of them. And yeah, they just sold this concept, sold this story, sold this idea of the Backrooms, making it to the big screen. Like they did it justice, because you could totally have screwed that up. You could have had the wrong people in those roles, not get the right performances. So hats off to the, I'm sure the casting director and Kane too, who I'm sure had a ton of input on that. Yeah, dude, they were so good. The performances were great. Then we had the vibes, the other star of the show. We all know how good Kane is at creating an atmosphere, and this is no exception. It was so good. The vibes were off the charts, like from the jump, from the kind of the intro to this movie. It starts off strong, gives you a taste of the Backrooms, it's spoiler free. I don't want to go too deep into that. But yeah, we start off strong with the vibes. And as we go deeper into the Backrooms, even when we're in standard, when we're not in the complex, it's like the way he does the, I know they shot it in Vancouver, so that's probably part of it, replacing the sky and the skyline and stuff to make it match San Jose, which I know very well. And they did a really good job swapping out the Vancouver sky and skyline for San Jose's rolling green hills on the outside of the valley, especially on the east side where the movie takes place. But it's got this very dreamlike, it's almost like you can't tell the difference. Whether you're in the Backrooms or, you're in standard. It kind of blurs the lines between, I want to see it again and like dig deeper into all that kind of shit. But like it really blurs the lines between what's reality and what's in the complex. And I think as you'll see when you see it, like that's very much a kind of a theme of the movie that they dig into. Then we have like the Easter eggs, and there'll be so much more to dig into once we can like see the movie over and over. I can't even see the movie again for like 2 or 3 weeks, which sucks. It's going to kill me. But even just seeing it this one time, there was so many Easter eggs, way more than what they alluded to in just the trailers. Stuff that is really obvious, stuff that's much more hidden. Like, he even kind of alludes to his other, YouTube series in this, in a very indirect way, but still it's there. It's cool. And yeah, dude, there's so many Easter eggs, and they're well implemented where, like, if you are a fan and you're digging through it all, like the YouTubers like Red and Wendigoon and stuff, like, they'll have a blast digging through this stuff. But if you're like them or like the rest of us that watch all their stuff, it's like, how deep the rabbit hole goes, how much there is to cling on to and to try to understand about the Backrooms. And like he just threw in tons of that stuff here. If you know, if you don't, it doesn't take away from your experience of the movie, right? It only adds to, it's additive. It's not subtractive for people that don't understand it, because it's peripheral, you could say. Yeah, that was really cool. Hearing still life play, as you guys have heard in the trailer, hearing it play diegetically, like not really knowing, because there's speakers in every room, and we know that from Found Footage 3 that like it plays in the complex, the still life theme. It's not just something we hear as a soundtrack, as a score. It's diegetic. Like the people in the movie, the characters can hear it, and so can the audience. And yeah, that was just so cool. Like every time it would come on, me and then these kids next to me who didn't even speak English, they're from Czech Republic, so I could just tell, like, we couldn't communicate very well, but we both were experiencing it the same way, and we get excited at the same things. You could tell they were super fans too. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to just like pick up on those kinds of things and just get giddy about them. I was like a giddy little girl throughout the whole movie. It was so cool. And then I'd find myself getting sucked in deep and forgetting to like that I was watching the movie. It was that good of a film. It was a good story. It had a great plot. The characters were good. All the things I've already mentioned. And like it really sucked me in. I would forget the kind of movie I was watching for a minute, especially as we dug into some of the backstories. And then we have the antagonists, we'll call them the antagonists. I mostly loved them. They were done very well. Yeah, I don't know how else I should talk about this. They were done very well. They were very cool. They were, I don't know how much I should say, right? I'm trying to keep this spoiler free. The chase scenes were very stressful. There was a few really good kind of quick jump scares. It's not really a jump scare movie, as Kane has already mentioned. It's much more about the vibe, the slow burn of the terror and the drama and the suspense. But then there's these few explosive moments where, the antagonists really steal the show here, especially the main antagonist, which we will talk about more in a little bit. As I kind of mentioned before, it's just well done for normies that are just going to go see a good horror movie that don't really know all the lore and dig deep into the Backrooms. But then for like the pros, the people who know a lot about all of this, it's just I kind of already said this, but it's just easy to watch for both sides of it here. Like whether you're a normie or whether you're a diehard, you can kind of enjoy it just the same because it's just a well-made movie. It's just a good movie. Dude, Kane as a director is insane. The fact that this is his first time out doing this, it's crazy. Just the performances he got out of the characters, the vibe he created, in editing with the sound design. I know he had a big part in that too, in creating the sound design and creating the score. Like, man, this kid's crazy, dude. Like, thinking about, if he does that limited series in the future, like, I just can't wait to see what else he does. Even when he ventures off into other things, after he's done with the Backrooms. He's a kid to watch out for. He's an auteur. And yeah, man, this kid can just craft a world, dude. It's crazy what this kid can make. This baby, as we all know him. But yeah, dude, the movie just gives us so much more to dig into, like lore-wise. It explains some of our favorite life forms, gives us a lot of answers to not too many answers, but enough answers to what the backrooms are, and you can kind of extrapolate what that means based on the little information that they give. They give enough information, not too much, because you give too much and it can kind of ruin something like this. The mystery is so much better than whatever the answer could be, and he gives just enough information, the way the characters interpret what's going on, and the way the antagonists are roughly explained. He does a really good job of giving us just enough and explaining just enough and allowing your mind to extrapolate the rest, you could say. It's very cool. Now, as far as cons go, it's not really cons. It's kind of just things I wish we saw more of. Maybe slight twists on the things we do get, but I'll explain. I do wish that we saw / explored a little bit more of the backrooms. Maybe that's just me and the way I built up the whole movie in my head leading up to it. I was so excited, as most of us are. And then just thinking of all the different areas we've never seen before, what could come up and what kinds of things we might see and stuff like that. And a lot of that's probably on me, right? Or on us for thinking that it would go crazy. It does what it needs to do. I will say that. It's more of as a super fan, I just want it all, right? I want to see more. I wanted, especially in a movie context, I wanted to see through this different lens, this different perspective, all these different areas of the backrooms. That wasn't just 4x3, VCR footage kind of thing. And we get a decent amount, but we don't get a ton. I do wish there was more. But like I was saying, in this context, in a movie context where the story is paramount, it's not in a found footage thing. It's the whole thing is, the plot is they fall into the backrooms and they explore it and they run into a threat, and Ravi or Kane or whoever, and then they get out or they die or whatever. And or they're stuck there forever. There's not much story, not much plot to the found footage stuff. It's kind of inherent in found footage material. Here it's a full-blown movie. The story is what really matters. So if you just took a detour and it was just characters running around the backrooms for 30 more minutes and exploring new areas, I do think that it would very much take away from what the medium is in this context, how this story is being communicated as a proper film. So, but yeah, that's more of a super fan problem than it is, anything wrong with the movie. It's just, as a super fan, I just want to see more all the time. Okay, so the antagonists. For the most part, like I said before, I loved all of them. But the design of the main antagonist, you could say, could have been a little bit scarier. As a horror film, I do think that's important, right, in this context. The design does make sense considering what this main antagonist represented, but I would have appreciated if they took it just a little bit further horror-wise. Oh man, I am tired. It is late, but I gotta get this done. But yeah, like I said, they're not really complaints. It's more of things I just would have liked more of, or little twists on what they gave us. But yeah, dude, at the end of the day, I would give this movie an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. I would say it's a great movie. As a descriptor, I think that's perfect. Overall, I had fun watching it. The story was well thought out, well executed. The performances were amazing. The vibes were off the charts. It delivers on all of the backrooms, everything that we come to expect from anything from this project. But yeah, dude, I can't wait for all of you guys to see it so we can talk about it online. And I can't wait for YouTubers like Red or Wendigoon to, put out their videos breaking down everything about what we got out of this thing. Yeah. Very stoked that I got the opportunity and did the work to get out there to see this movie, made that journey. I'm so tired. Now I got to edit this thing and get it up for you guys. But yeah, this video is going to be a little, I think, pulled back editing wise. I'm not going to have as many bells and whistles on this one because I got to just edit it and put it up. But yeah, thanks for sticking with me to the end, you guys. I appreciate you watching. I know your time's valuable, so thank you for spending it with me. And I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.